We're breezing through tonight's episode. We're breezing through tonight's episode due to, well, a lot of games, A, but B, because we're trying to save a few segments for Tuesday's episode. You'll find out why tomorrow, because there's going to be a sports phenomenon that you didn't really see coming, nor do you see it outside of a 5-day stretch in July. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. You'll find out why. I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes, so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Sunday, April 7th, 2019. Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. It's time to get you caught up on what's happening in the world of sports. This is Top of the Order.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
This is Top of the Order.
Oh, where do I begin? That's the first question I asked myself after the conclusion of Virginia versus Auburn, the first Final Four game. Ty Jerome looked to have double dribbled off of his heel with a referee trailing in plain view behind him. The call was never made. Had the call been made, Auburn might have just won the ball game 62-60. But, alas, a foul was never called. On the next play off the inbounds pass, Kyle Guy caught it in the corner, shot it, missed it, but was fouled on the three, which means 3 free throw attempts. He made all 3. Virginia wins 63-62. Second game, the Texas Tech Red Raiders shut down the Michigan State Spartans 61-51. Texas Tech has the number 1 defense and will be going up against Virginia, who has arguably the next best defense. Both teams will probably keep each other to under 60 points. For the first time since the shot clock was instituted in 1986, during the Final Four, all 4 Final Four teams were held to under 65 points. Pretty incredible, huh? Monday night, 9:20 p.m. Eastern, 6:20 p.m. Pacific Time. The national championship game, the number 3 seeded Texas Tech Red Raiders, the West Regional champions, who held the state of Michigan to a combined 95 points in this NCAA tournament, versus a number 1 seed out of the South Region Virginia Cavaliers, who lost to the 16 seed UMBC last season in the first round, becoming the first number 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed, as if UVA fans didn't need a reminder of that. There you go. Texas Tech will be playing Virginia, a team that has survived by the literal skin of their teeth against not only Purdue, but now Auburn. The Brooklyn Nets defeated the Milwaukee Bucks 133-128 last night. D'Angelo Russell had 25 points and 10 assists for the Nets, and LeVert had 24 points for the Nets as well. Philadelphia 76ers won 16-96 winners against the Chicago Bulls. Joel Embiid had a 20-10-5 game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists for the Sixers in their 20-point blowout of Chicago. There are 14 games in the NBA slate tomorrow. Heat at the Raptors, Spurs at the Cavs, Thunder at the Wolves, Hornets at the Pistons, Nets at the Pacers, Mavs at the Grizzlies, Suns at the Rockets, Hawks at the Bucks, Magic at the Celtics, Wizards at the Knicks, Clippers at the Warriors, Nuggets at the Blazers, Pelicans at the Kings, Jazz at the Lakers. Due to only 2 games played, the Eastern Conference standings are still the same. Bucks, Raptors, Sixers, Celtics, Pacers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have all clinched. Brooklyn, Orlando, and Detroit are 6, 7, 8. Miami is a game out of Detroit for the 8 spot. In the West, all 8 spots are clinched, seeding to be determined. Golden State, Denver, Houston, Portland, Utah, Clippers, not the Utah Clippers, Utah Jazz, then the LA Clippers 5 and 6. Oklahoma City Thunder 7, San Antonio Spurs 8. Let's do a quick rundown of the NHL. Tampa Bay Lightning 6-3 winners over Atlantic Division rival Boston Bruins. The LA Kings defeat the Vegas Golden Knights 5-2. They scored late in the third to really put it away. In a shootout win, the Blues win 3-2 over the Vancouver Canucks. Montreal Canadiens also in a shootout win against Canadian rival Toronto Maple Leafs. Montreal will be missing the playoffs. Toronto will be making the playoffs. Buffalo Sabres 7-1 winners against the Detroit Red Wings, who continue to get a higher draft position due to their losses. New Jersey Devils 4-3 winners against the Florida Panthers in overtime. Carolina Hurricanes 4-3 winners against the Philadelphia Flyers in regulation. New York Rangers 4-3 wins. There was 4-3 wins in a row. New York Rangers 4-3 winners against Pittsburgh Penguins in overtime. New York Islanders 3-0 shutout of the defending champion Washington Capitals, who are also the Metro Division champions. Nashville Predators win their second consecutive Central Division title 5-2 against Chicago. Dallas Stars 3-0 against the Minnesota Wild, a shutout for the Stars. Winnipeg Jets 4-2 winners against the Arizona Coyotes. Edmonton Oilers 3-1 against Calgary. Connor McDavid suffered a leg injury. He did not fracture it. It comes to light a few minutes ago. As we record this, Connor McDavid did not suffer a fracture. He will have an MRI later today to determine the extent of the injury. 5-2 winners for San Jose over the Colorado Avalanche. The NHL standings are officially complete. We have the playoff matchups. Jack Esper will be on Tuesday's episode to discuss the playoffs, and you're not going to want to miss that because he's going to preview the playoffs, not to give you an opinion about who's going to win, but he's going to give you a little bit of insight into each matchup. Once again, Tuesday's episode for Jack Esper, our Sport Report NHL correspondent. There were 15 games on the MLB slate last night and yesterday. The Arizona Diamondbacks walked off against the now 2-8 Boston Red Sox. They play one more game, the Red Sox do, before heading home to Fenway for the home opener. LA Dodgers 7-2 winners against the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies are 0-2 at home, 3-6 on the year. Chicago Cubs 14-8 winners against the Milwaukee Brewers, snapping a 6-game losing streak. Jason Hayward had 2 homers and 2 stolen bases. Pretty darn good job. Detroit Tigers 7-4 winners against the Kansas City Royals. New York Mets 6-5 on the Washington Nationals. Pittsburgh Pirates 6-5 on Cincinnati, though they did it in 10 innings. Minnesota Twins 6-2 against Philadelphia. Jake Arrieta credited with the loss for the Phillies. Seattle Mariners 9-2 against the Chicago White Sox. San Diego Padres 6-4 winners against the St. Louis Cardinals. LA Angels 5-1 against the Texas Rangers. San Francisco Giants 6-4 on Tampa. Cleveland 7-2 against Toronto. New York 6-4 against Baltimore. Houston 6-0 on Oakland, and Miami 4-2 on Atlanta. That's the Sport Report for April 7th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com. This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.